21 Lessons for the 21st Century. Imagine you fell asleep 30 years ago and just woke up today. Upon waking, you see human beings with their backs bent over smartphone screens. You are told stories of how people now alter parts of their bodies to acquire extraordinary powers. They tell you how you can be in Rwanda, yet talk to someone thousands of kilometers away in Canada. Hearing this, you would feel like you are no longer on the ordinary Earth, but rather as if you have been born into another life, on a completely different planet. The world of yesterday is not the world of today. The world changes every day. If you do not change with it, you will be left behind. When we pull our phones out of our pockets and look at their screens, we believe that we are choosing what we want to see, what we want to buy, and who we want to vote for. However, in the true reality of the life we live, we do not choose what we see on our phones. Instead, the tech platform's algorithms determine what we must look at. I can look into someone's phone, access a social media platform they use, and learn a vast amount of information about them, even if it is not everything. I can find out what scares them, who they want to become, and the exact type of ideas they like. When you open a specific platform, the algorithm brings up more of what you love to watch, even if that was not your original purpose for visiting the site. Still, chances are high that you will end up watching it and spending a lot of time on it. In Rwanda, and in many other places around the world, when a child reaches the age of 5, they are taken to school. They are taught by educators who were born and studied lessons from the 20th century. At school, the teacher tells them, "Look at these things I am telling you. Memorize them. When I ask you about them, repeat them back exactly as I told you and I will give you good grades. Getting good grades will be a great sign that you will live a good life, because you managed to perfectly repeat what I taught you." This line of thinking was highly popular decades ago, but today things seem to have completely changed. In the past, we were trained to specialize in only one specific career path. They told us that dabbling in many different things at once was a waste of our energy, and that we would not go far in this life. Yet they said this before seeing that today you can spend decades studying a specific skill, only for a machine or a mobile phone application to come along and do in just 2 minutes what took you years to master. This brings us to the question, what skills should we possess that are actually useful in this 21st century? Yuval Noah Harari is a philosopher, historian, and a professor at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Based on his writings and ideas, many view him as an expert in observing and analyzing what the future of humanity might look like. He also provides deep analytical insights into human history, from our very origins on this earth. Here he is, stepping in as our professor, to help us examine 21 lessons suitable for this 21st century that we live in. This is featured on the show Baza Ashira Matsiko, Ask and Satisfy Your Curiosity, a program prepared and brought to you by myself, Francis Nkurunziza. Welcome. Yuval Noah Harari is among the most popular authors of our era. In 2014 he wrote the book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, a book that encompasses the history of humanity's origins on Earth, viewed through scientific perspectives, particularly natural selection. In 2016 he published another book, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, telling us a great deal about the future of humanity, the grand achievements man might reach, and the technology he will bring to this world, technology that has never existed before. Then in 2018 he released the book 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, discussing current global issues and what needs to be done to bridge the gap that has already formed due to this technology that leaves us behind every single day. This is the book we are going to discuss, the 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. Without further ado, let us begin these lessons. Today, human hope seems to have drastically diminished. Stories we were told in the past and believed unconditionally now seem to go in through one ear and out the other. We have an extraordinary fear of tomorrow. When we go to sleep in peace, it is highly possible to wake up in the morning to almost zero peace, purely due to the thought or words of just one single person. We saw this happen recently when the President of the United States thought about and announced that he was going to attack Iran. Nearly all of us went to bed that evening feeling like everything was normal, yet we woke up to news that made our hearts, and our lives in general, stand completely still. Furthermore, modern technology is changing so much today. You might have a job right now and receive a monthly salary, but there is a high risk that one day you will wake up, go to work as usual, and find that what you used to do is now being done by a machine, leaving you immediately unemployed. In this century, so many things disrupt our peace of mind. In the 20th century, if a person possessed a specific trade or profession, it was highly possible to sustain themselves with that job for their entire life and live comfortably. In those years, those who earned a monthly salary were the ones living well. Yet today you find that those who depend on a monthly salary face a great deal of financial distress. Perhaps that person is lucky to even have that opportunity, while as I speak, hundreds of millions of others are facing unspeakable unemployment. Their lives are incredibly difficult, and this is affecting a vast number of youth across different parts of the world. Now, artificial intelligence (AI) has arrived, adding fuel to the fire of this widespread distress. For instance, it is projected that by 2030, between 85 million and 92 million jobs will be replaced by AI. However, despite this, artificial intelligence will not eliminate all work. Instead, it will change the nature of how work is done, creating new types of jobs that did not exist before. While those roles created in the 20th century will be fading away, AI is expected to generate 170 million entirely new jobs. Therefore, this could turn out to be a solution rather than a problem. However, it will not work for anyone who clings tightly to the knowledge that was taught at the end of the 20th century and the beginning of this 21st century. In past years, a person who knew multiple languages and interpreted for foreigners had a great job that we all looked at with envy. Yet today, machines have been invented that can translate Kinyarwanda, Chinese, and many other diverse languages that a single human being could never master alone. In the past, a teacher would leave home in the morning and go to school for their daily routine of teaching. Today, however, a person can sit at home in their armchair in front of a technological device, perform the work that a teacher is supposed to do, say what they need to say, hit the upload button, and then go back to sleep or tend to other things. Yet, they can earn an income that multiplies what that teacher, who wakes up every single morning, earns in a month. Where is this world heading? All of this shows us that the way traditional schools are structured must be reformed, because they no longer work in today's world. This clearly demonstrates that we must change what we learn and how we learn it. In his book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, Yuval Noah Harari discusses what he calls liberty, or freedom. Today, data has become the common denominator of almost everything. The ultimate currency is information. Artificial intelligence, AI, and big data technologies have the potential to strip away our right to choose what we truly need and what is best for our lives. We will not easily notice that this is happening. Rather, it is a trap that we only realize once it has already sprung on us. Harari states that the mysteries of human brain function are no longer a mystery. Machines have already studied us thoroughly. They know what we love, what we hate, what scares us, and what we think. Consequently, this will enable those who hold this technology in their hands, namely tech giants and governments, to know how to manipulate our minds. From the products we want to buy, to where we want to study, and even to the people we choose to live with, we will no longer possess the independent decision-making power that existed in previous centuries. Everything could end up being chosen for us by automated algorithms instead of our own conscience. We live in a world where social media acts like a double-edged sword. If you use it well, it can help you win your battles, but if handled poorly, it will cut you down. We live in an era where our lives seem to exist primarily on social media. Today, it is very common for someone to have deep secrets about their personal life that they cannot share face-to-face with those around them, yet the moment they get on social media, they broadcast everything without holding anything back. In a practical sense, we are experiencing extreme isolation. Many people are completely self-absorbed, and it is very difficult to find even a little time to socialize with real friends and family. Yet inside, through platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, an individual feels like they have hundreds of thousands of friends. There are many who truly feel loved just because they have these virtual friends, valuing them more than the actual friendship of 5 real-life companions with whom they share ups and downs. Do not even bother asking them if they know their closest neighbors in their village. No, that is not important to them. Just tell them how they can get more likes on social media. That is what modern friendship looks like in the 21st century. So, what skills do we actually need in this 21st century? The 21st century job market demands that we remain in a state of continuous adaptation. We must stop clinging to systems built by our predecessors, which in reality no longer function effectively. In a world where the internet moves as fast as lightning, a world of artificial intelligence and social media, everything is moving rapidly. It demands that we move even faster to keep pace with modern developments. In his book, Yuval Noah Harari tells us that clinging to stagnant knowledge or confining oneself to a single type of career path is an open invitation to unspeakable disaster. When artificial intelligence reaches its peak, where it will be capable of performing most human tasks, a worker's value will be determined by their ability to constantly learn, relearn, and adapt to changes as they happen. To successfully navigate the job market of tomorrow, you must properly train your mind, your emotional resilience, and your unique interpersonal skills. In past centuries, human life was split into 2 distinct phases, a time for learning and a time for working. You gathered information and knowledge during your youth, and then you used that specific toolkit for the rest of your life. Harari warns us that this model is completely outdated. In the 21st century, the lifespan of any professional skill has drastically shortened. A software engineer, a financial analyst, or a digital marketer who stops updating and refreshing their knowledge for just a few years will quickly find themselves left behind and irrelevant. Because of this, the primary asset in your career is the capacity for psychological reinvention. If you are a teacher, a doctor, an engineer, or any other professional, that title alone will not guarantee you stability if you assume that a single career path will sustain you for your entire working life. Instead, you will change careers frequently, to the point where you might find yourself working in up to 4 completely different professions within a single decade. For those still trapped in a 1980s mindset, this looks like a problem. They view such a person as someone failing to stabilize in the labor market. However, as the years go by, we will increasingly realize that this is actually the best way to remain competitive. What specific skills do we truly need in this century? The schools where we pay heavy tuition fees sometimes teach us things we never even use because they are no longer required in the job market. Their curricula ought to prioritize 4 core pillars. Whatever knowledge you acquire must be built upon critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. These are the qualities that must replace the outdated practice of memorizing a teacher's lessons just to repeat them back exactly as taught. The correct approach is to anchor education to these 4 C's. Let me explain them. The very first foundation for all knowledge is critical thinking. We are no longer in an era where merely finding information is a high-level skill that belonged to the 20th century. We are in a time where information is everywhere. Finding data requires no special talent. The true skill lies in filtering that information, extracting what is essential, and weeding out the rumors and noise. The next skill we need in this 21st century is communication. True communication goes far beyond writing an email or speaking eloquently in public. It is the ability to understand the emotional and psychological state of other people, tailoring information and data depending on the objective. It means managing your own emotions while thoroughly understanding the emotions of others, reading them like an open book. Another crucial skill is collaboration. The major projects that drive the 21st century are far too complex for a single human brain to comprehend alone. You must be skilled at working with other people who possess diverse expertise, come from different cultures, and operate from different corners of the world via the internet or any other means possible. The final skill you need to go far is creativity. Machines are experts at processing established data, recognizing patterns, and following logic. However, humans must retain exclusive ownership over imagination, the ability to see new opportunities in markets to invest in, to invent new narratives and projects, and to connect entirely different things that seemingly have no relation at all. This is what a true intellectual of the 21st century looks like. There are many lessons we could extract from this book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, but let us conclude here. We will meet again in future programs filled with insights on soft skills, the kind of knowledge that traditional schools rarely teach. This has been the show Baza Ashira Matsuko, a program prepared and brought to you by myself, Francis Nkurunziza.